Hello everybody and welcome back to Manor Lords, where I keep threatening to end this series, but we keep not quite being there yet. So for now, I do think that we should probably get another Woodcutter's Lodge over here in Waldbrand, and that'll be fine. I want to pull a family out of the malt house. I don't feel like we get enough barley to run this malt house with two families year-round anyway. So that'll be absolutely fine for right now. And that means that we can send, in theory, like 2 families over to this Woodcutter's Lodge. And we could even expand out over here and put in a couple of additional burgages. So what this would end up looking like would be something like we would need 2 burgages in total. I don't know why this isn't snapping now, but, you know, whatever. It's absolutely okay. So a couple of burgages here would be fine, and we could just do something like that. Okay, so we'll get that going. That seems okay. So now down in Eikenau, we have 1 month of fuel here. So I believe we just put in a new Woodcutter's Lodge here. Yes, let's put in an additional family there, but let's get 1 more burgage built here where it is actually snapping. And the idea behind that burgage is, of course, that this is going to go into the Woodcutter's Lodge. So that'll be fine here. We are needing fuel. Over in Immenruth, things are looking good. In Zawau, things are looking very good. Goldhoff is down to 1 month of fuel. Okay, so here we definitely know that we have our Woodcutter's Lodge somewhere, right? I'm sure we have a Woodcutter's Lodge. Yes, it's right here. So we may want to consider moving that to be like up here instead. Okay, I have a bit of a plan then. So the Woodcutter's Lodge is going to be relocated, and we're going to put it somewhere out over here. This is too steep to build, apparently. We could put it here. Like that. That'll work. So we'll just get that moved out over here. We're also going to need to put in a couple of additional burgages here. So let's expand this out. And again, this isn't snapping, but whatever. We'll expand this out to be something like this. Okay, so that looks good for now. 3 additional families coming in to Goldhoff. We're definitely going to need some fuel, and that is fine. I want the priority to be on the Woodcutter's Lodge. We'll get that done first. Cool. Hofstetten should be fine. And we're skipping up here for now. I want to check in on Newslow. Okay, so here we also have a bit of an issue with our Woodcutter's Lodge, but we can get 3 here and 3 here, and that should be, in theory, enough. I'm also interested in putting in another forester's hut down over here. Okay, we're going to get going on that. Looks good. So, that should be a decent amount of this taken care of, in theory. We're going to be expanding this Woodcutter's Lodge up here. That seems fine. But now we, of course, need to check in on Selbits. So, up here we've got everything that is pretty good. We would like to upgrade these to level 3 burgages. What do we need? Clothing stall. This is actually able to be upgraded to level 2, but we're not ready for that. Clothing and food here. Food and clothing. Same. Food and clothing. Yeah, so we just need additional varieties of food, and we need to get the tailor shops a little bit more online. So we've got 2 tailor shops here. Transporting, crafting, and waiting. Crafting, waiting, and crafting. So they're working. That sounds good. I want to come up over here, and I want to put in a chicken coop to provide more egg yield. And we just need to wait until we have an opportunity. This is good on the food stall supply here. We just need clothing. So with any luck, we'll be able to get these upgraded soon. That's the idea, anyway. Yeah, still lacking clothing stall supply here. And eventually that food stall supply situation will change. So for now, we're keeping an eye on it. And with any luck, we'll get that clothing stall done soon. Okay, we finished up some Woodcutter's Lodge, Forester's Huts. We should definitely come in here and take a look at this. So, we're going to bring this up to 1 Woodcutter's Lodge here. Down in Ica now, I think things are relatively fine for the moment. And then we wanted to check up in Newslow. So up here, we have these Woodcutter's Lodges done. The Forester's Huts here, I'm going to tell them that they are supposed to be working right down in this area here as well. So we've got Foresters working on replanting this area, while these Woodcutters are working on chopping them down. That's the idea anyway. So that looks good for Newslow. That will hopefully be under control. Down over here, of course, we have a family in the mining pit. This clay furnace is still being worked on in Selbitz, and that seems reasonably fine. Okay, so we're just cruising forward here, hoping to get an opportunity to upgrade some of these level 2 burgages to level 3. That's the idea. And we're currently at 9 regional wealth over here, which is, of course, not fantastic. We're going to want that to come up, but Newslow finished a firewood stall. That's great. And we're still working away at this farmhouse. It's December still. Okay, that's noted. I'm really hoping we get that clothing stall supply going soon. Crafting, going home, and getting fuel supplies. Transporting, waiting, and waiting. Okay. So the Weaver's Workshop is still working away. How much flax do we have in here? 21 is the answer. Okay. So this field here, I think, did not get fully planted, right? Neither did this one. Okay. Not a lot got fully planted here. We could consider getting additional manpower out onto the fields here in Selbitz. That is definitely something we could think about. But for the moment, I'm not going to do that. For the moment, I think we're in a reasonable-ish spot. We could put another family into the Weaver's Workshop, and I'm going to do that for right now. Because we're really close to being able to upgrade this. Really, really close. So we're just checking through all of these level 1 burgages, or rather level 2 burgages, and we would be delighted to be able to upgrade any of them. But currently, that's not a viable thing. We're just lacking that clothing stall supply here in this specific burgage. So we'll leave that be for a little bit. Let's pop over to some of our other locations and check in. Goldoff is out of something. What are you out of? Fuel? Yeah, that makes sense. This Woodcutter's Lodge is here, and we need to get people working on that. And we're working on these burgages currently, but we're going to have families coming in here. We're going to be out of fuel here. This is understood. So there's 1 burgage completed, and we can immediately move a family in here. Looks good. And I'm also going to get 2 additional burgages going here. So let's get 1 here and 1 here, about like this. Cool. Get going on that. So that'll be fine. We are getting fuel at this moment, and hopefully we'll be okay on that front. We should be. I mean, we've got 2 families working on this now. That should be absolutely fine. So let's check in on Waldbrand. We can see that we are on 1 month of fuel at this time here, and we can bump this up to a 2nd family in this Woodcutter's Lodge, which I'm definitely going to do. And then down in Ica now, we can see we're doing okay on fuel here. Our fuel is currently net positive, and we can bump this up to 3 families. Perfect. High saving. Eventually it'll get there. There we go. And down in Immenruth, things are looking okay. In Newslow, things should be fine here as well. I'm not too concerned about any of that. So that looks good. And there's definitely a fair amount of additional trees coming in over here in Selbitz. So, let's see here. We're down to 2 types of food on the marketplace here. So our clothing stall supply never came in. That is unfortunate, but not necessarily the end of the world. Okay. So it'd be much easier to upgrade, of course, if we could get meat or berries. We can't do that. We have to rely on what we've got. We could import some, I suppose. That is a theoretical option. I'm going to put in a chicken coop here to get us an additional source of eggs. And we've got a renewable source of bread, eggs, honey, and vegetables, in theory. The vegetables are going to be much more... The production yields on that are very low. We don't have many vegetables here. So that is absolutely noted. We could trade for some. It's a theoretical option. I suppose we could. And we could just target a surplus of like 10 vegetables. Purpose behind this is not to keep us afloat on food. We've got plenty of food here. No, the purpose here is to get varieties of food and clothing. So that's fine. And we're just trying to pump out the gambesons right now. Are gambesons considered armor, not clothing? I bet they're considered armor. They might well be. This is not helpful. Okay. Let's go into gambesons. Generic storage, required for crafting linen, tailor's workshop. Armaments. Yes. Gambesons are armament. Okay. So we absolutely do need to be bringing in dye then. Noted. That's going to be expensive. We're going to need a better export. We should probably start exporting bread. And we should keep around somewhere like 150 bread. So we can do something like that. And then we're going to want to import... We could import clothes directly. Dyes are 4 to 14, and clothes are 6? Six is very cheap. I guess we'll import clothes directly. Cool. So our tailor shops are producing gambesons, which is not really ideal. That's not clothing. We want to produce clothes. But we need dyes for that, and dyes are expensive. So I guess we'll just trade for the dyes. Seems okay. We can put an additional family into the trading post, which I'm going to do. We're in debt to the king by 336. Okay, that's noted. Our costs are very high at this point. Yeah, our royal tax is incredibly high. It just keeps going up. And I think that's intended. We're going to come out of debt with the king fairly soon. I'm not too concerned about it. It doesn't actually do all that much, to be honest. But it's not going to take us very long to get out of debt. So that seems relatively fine. So clothing stall supply is definitely a thing. I'd like to also import dyes if we've got gold. I doubt that we will have gold, but if we do have gold, I wouldn't mind it. Also, we should probably export wax. Keeping around like 20. Something like that. I wonder how we make candles. Regardless, it's not very relevant. We can also export gambesons, keeping around 0 of them. Okay, so I want to import dyes, and we'll just let those build up for the time being. So that is under crafting materials. And we'll look to have around 20 of them. Okay, so something like that should put us in a position where we're kind of ish in a position where we can get these upgrades. Ooh, hang on, we're being raided. Where? Iconau. Okay. So, well, that's awkward. Noted. So let's raise up our militia units. And only our militia units. Yeah, we are missing some spears in Waldbrand. Hang on. I want to set one of these guys. Who is it? Is it the blacksmith? Yes. The blacksmith. Over to making spears. Now, I don't think we're actually importing any iron here. And we probably should be. Yeah. Import just a couple of iron. Like 2. There we go. Okay, now I want to get all of these guys ready. Yeah, we'll need swords as well. That's noted. So I'm going to raise up all of our non-retinue forces, and they are going to rally right down over here. And then we're also going to rally up our retinue specifically from Iconau, which is smaller. Okay. They're just coming in right down over here, right at the edge of the map, right on our location. So that is understood. We have that retinue there. And that should cause them to start running directly at our retinue unit. And I would like to definitely make these guys get down here quickly. So get on down here and run. These guys, however, they're going to start heading up this way. Okay. So we've got 5 units of brigands here. And they significantly outnumber us, about 4 to 1. Let's just hold here for the moment, and we're going to put our units on stand your ground. All of these brigands are going to look to fight us, and this is going to be non-ideal for sure. We had very little warning and very little time on dealing with this. Okay. So we're going to hold these off as best we can, but they have a significant numerical advantage on us. Goldhoff is running out of fuel. Okay, that's not surprising necessarily. I did intend on putting an additional woodcutter in here. And also, where is that? We put a forester hut in here, didn't we? Pretty sure we did. No, I think we didn't, but we intended to. Okay, I'm going to put in a forester's hut right next to it, right up over here. Okay. Now, back over here. We're still working on this. And the reinforcements are certainly on their way. I don't know what this guy's up to. He's just kind of chilling. Okay, sure. All of these guys are. We're definitely taking losses here. This is not surprising. Where are our reinforcements? Okay, they're on their way, but they are certainly taking their sweet time. Okay, I want this retinue to try to retreat. Get out of there. Okay. So some of these units are indeed retreating, and they're going to chase us. And they're going to kill some of our villagers. That's not surprising. Where are you guys going? I told you to come up over here, like, on the road. Okay. So they're definitely killing our villagers. That's a thing. Where's the rest of our units at? They're up over here. Okay, so they are on their way in. I want all of the non-archers here to just get in here and charge right in. What is this pathing? Okay, sure. That'll work. The archers, I want them to come in here and just start archering. I don't know what that pathing is either. Let's put them up over here. Okay. So the question is, how much damage are these guys actually going to do? They're still pursuing us, it looks like, and they're only killing the people that get in their way at this moment. They're not burning anything down, so this is looking decent. This retinue definitely held them for a while, but we need to bring our forces in. And to be honest, these guys over here, they're not going to make it. I'm going to tell them, don't even bother. Cool. It's currently February, so things are looking okay as far as that goes. This archer militia and this archer militia is going to be in the same boat. These guys are not going to make it in time. So I'm going to tell them, don't even bother trying to come. We're just going to fight this with the Waldbrand units. Hi, save. There you go. Okay. So we're going to move these guys down. They're going to be angling to fight here. I'm not sure what their range is right now. They might be in range. Okay, get in here, militia footmen. Beautiful. I want to be firing on these archers right now. Get in here and stop them. Are we actually firing? We might be. Yeah, there we go. That's a good shot. Cool. So this is all looking pretty decent at this point. We're going to need to replenish some of these pieces, of course, but that's fine. So this is now broken, and these guys will be broken shortly as well. Broken here. Excellent. Looks like they're all broken. Okay. So all of these guys are going to need to head back to Waldbrand. Looks good. And then these guys are, of course, going to get disbanded. Okay. Fantastic. So we successfully managed to defend Eichenau, mostly. There were a couple of losses here and there, but that's to be expected. So we're going to disband all of these units. It is March now, so they're going to be heading out to the fields. Cool. So currently we're going to need a couple of spears, and then we're going to need a couple of swords as well. Noted. So that's all fine. We're going to import some iron for that. Looks good. Okay, it is March, so anything that did not get done last year is now going to get plowed up and is going to get finished. So that sounds good. We're going to be coming out to the fields over here and getting started on all of that. Eventually we'll arrive. Here we go. Perfect. So that is, of course, going to take some amount of time, and I would prefer it if this had been done in the fall, but here we are. Cool. So all is looking good on that front. Now, if we come in here, we can see we don't have a clothing supply, and we are lacking food stall supplies here as well, in terms of food variety. So that is definitely understood. What do we have right now? We have bread, we have eggs, and that's kind of it. So what do we have for apiaries here? We could put another pair of families in both apiaries. And that's probably not a bad idea. Let's put another pair of burgages on either side of the road here. So like this and out over this direction. I think the road kind of ends there, but something kind of like that. Cool. And we'll get that going. Those families are intended to go into the apiaries to produce additional wax, which we are using to sell, and additional honey. Now, what did we just import here? We imported some dyes, and we also... That's kind of it. We kind of just imported 2 dyes. Okay, I'm going to take these guys off of making gambesons, and I'm going to put them onto clothes, now that we do have some dyes here. Beautiful. So down in Waldbrand... This field is not started yet, and this field is not either. These are both going to be done, I bet, by oxen. Most likely. Waldbrand is running out of fuel. Oh, bodies need burial here. Yeah, that would make sense. So, we do have someone in the stone church here. It seems reasonably fine. We have a family assigned to handle it, so... that should get done. In theory. But nobody's really very fussed about it, it seems. Okay, well that's fine. Up in Waldbrand, we are running out of fuel, and that is reasonably expected. I want to put another woodcutter into this woodcutter's lodge, so we're really ramping up our woodcutting out over here. And that should be fine at this point. So we should be seeing, yeah, oxen are plowing here. This field is not being plowed. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not being plowed, but it certainly isn't. So, up over in Selbitz, I want to check in here and see how we're going on the clothing stall supply. Well, we've got the food variety. Are there any of these that have a clothing supply at this point? The answer to that is no. Okay, I still see 2 dyes here. Waiting, going home, and waiting. Okay. let's change over our other tailor shop as well to being on clothes. There we go. So that'll be fine. And eventually, these guys will come out of the trading post and will get put to work in the tailor shop. Yeah, they've been moved now. Cool. So that looks fine. And eventually, we should get that clothing stall supply coming in here, in theory. However, it's not going to be this episode. This is going to be a next episode sort of thing. Why is this field disabled? Do not disable this field. Thank you very much. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you. I'm just checking in on these fields here. Okay, this one's getting plowed now. A very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.